Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another 1v1, this time showcasing my favorite Civ, being the Jurchens. In the blue, by Bell Ringing, we'll be piloting the Jurchens there. And then over in the purple, we have the Spanish Senjudama. Don't think I'm going to pronounce either of those players' names correctly, so we're just going to stick with the blue player and the purple player. So yeah. Welcome back to some mid-elo casting. Today we are watching about the 1200 mark, a little bit less, so 1170, 1160 here for these two players. And I really wanted to watch it just because I'm a huge Jurchen fan, and Jurchens aren't the highest played Civ out there. Obviously they're DLC Civ, so not everyone owns DLCs, totally understandable. Especially like controversial DLC, kind of like the Three Kingdoms ones, so less players just available to play them as well. And of those Civs, I think they're probably one of the less popular ones, but they are my favorite Civ. I absolutely love the Jurchens, so I'm super excited to see how this player pilots them and see what they do. Against the Spanish, how will this matchup go? That is a good question. Well, Spanish are very much well known for their castle drops, so if I'm correct, this is probably going to be a fast castle from the Spanish. We'll have to see if that ends up happening or not. So probably the better question is how are the Jurchens going to react to a castle getting thrown down on their face, or just conquistadors in general. Also, sorry if my voice sounds gross or weird. I'm coming down with some kind of a cold. I got a scratchy throat, so yeah, hopefully that didn't last too long. Either way, lots of scouting happening from our blue player here. I will never get this confident with my sheep ever. He has got them going everywhere. This is probably one skill that I could get better at or at least one very obvious skill I could get better at is scouting with my sheep. I tend to not scout with my sheep. I like them all under my TC, and then maybe I send out one or two to just kind of get the small little bits of map that my scout didn't see right away. Okay, decent boar lore. I like it. Both boars are under the TC for blue. They might be going for fast castle themselves. Jurchens definitely have that capability. But yeah, I don't really scout with sheep, and that's probably a weakness of mine. But man, I look a lot more like this purple player here with the Spanish. I just have my scout doing all the scouting, sheep just hanging out. Typically right under the town center. Again, that would be so easy to rob. Blue scout just walks right by and boom, there goes sheep for the rest of the game. But yeah, it looks like, I mean, it's obviously too early to tell if these players will be going for fast castles or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they both do. I don't know why I'm getting that kind of inkling that they may end up going for it. There are no chickens or rabbits, so obviously we're going to be milling the berries. I haven't seen any pushing of the deer, which would be extremely good. That's about to maybe happen right now. Yep, okay, so blue's going to be pushing his deer. Purple, on the other hand, I don't believe has been pushing. Yep, they haven't been pushing their deer. So, if you wanted to fast castle, deer maps are definitely good for doing that because it allows you to get up that much quicker. But you do have to push those deer in order to accomplish said goal. And I haven't been seeing the purple player try for that. He looks to be, I mean, he scouted his deer, but he looks to be looking for his opponent. Now we're at 20 pop here, so pretty soon someone might be clicking to feudal. If we want to see a fast castle, we're going to expect probably more like a 22 or 23 pop time. And nope, feudal's been clicked. So the Spanish are headed up to feudal, and that is definitely not a fast castle build from the Spanish player. So respect. I really like this Civ. Spanish are kind of up there on Civs I think I would enjoy playing and would want to try, but to be honest, I haven't played them very much simply because I've just been castle dropped by too many Spanish players. So I'm like, I don't want to be that Spanish player, bro. I don't want to be a part of that. So respect to this guy for not going to fast castle, and on the other side, blue hasn't gone for fast castle either. So I was dead wrong about that being a possibility. Obviously, again, there was no evidence to suggest that was going to be the case. No, purple loses his scout. Oh, that is so unfortunate. At the very least, he does know where his opponent is. And at this level, losing your scout is not a game ender, so, well, I'm not sure at any level losing your scout is a game ender. Still, it won't be too bad. I'm sure he'll be fine. Pushing in the deer is probably a worse thing. The fact that the purple player hasn't pushed in any deer, and blue is pushing in deer. Jurchens have the no decay bonus, so not having any decay on these deer definitely means you're going to get a little bit more meat out of them. And that's like the fastest source of food in the early game, so blue could have a pretty decent scout rush coming into this this feudal age. That being said, Spanish are already making their stable, so it looks like it might be a scout rush from both players? Question mark? Ooh, rice. Okay, nice. We got double big rice. Double bit axe for both players. All the deer are about to be pushed in for blue here. Very impressed with that. Pushing in your deer is always a good thing. A very good skill to try and learn. At the very least, maybe milling your deer if you don't want to push them. Lovely. And I don't see a stable though. So even though blue is definitely going to have a very slight res collect lead. Very, very slight res collected lead there. He's not going to have any military, and purple is pumping out some scouts. Now, obviously, he lost his original scout, so he's going to be down one scout effectively for what this scout rush could be. But I don't really see what the blue player is going for. Is he... Like, is there no military? This is very odd to me. Okay, there's the stable. I was gonna say, typically when you go up to feudal age, your very first thing you want to do is either drop down a military building or drop down a blacksmith and a market because you're fast castling. So it was a little odd to not see that happening. But I guess there's also like tower rushing you could do. Obviously that's not the case here, so it's not going to apply. Purple will be coming in here with 2 scouts. Oops, it looks like okay, that scout got fought off back there. Just gonna be harassing, no serious commitment here. Jurchens do have faster attacking scouts, so in the long run, the Spanish player will not have the best time if he tries to commit to scout wars. I mean, a single spear headed up nice, very nice. Probably defensive though, since his base is not fully walled in, so that's good. But if you want ever to win a scout war, maybe sending a spear up to the front lines is a good idea, just because one spear hit on a scout can really swing those fights. That being said, I don't think much aggression is going to be planned here from our purple player. He just did his 2 scouts, and he's just kind of running around Blue's base, and instead he's putting some spears at home. So maybe he is still planning on getting to Castle Age without too much feudal aggression at all, and then just throwing down that castle and spamming conks, as many Spanish players do. Not that that's a bad thing, it's certainly a very strong strat. The Conquistador is a very strong Castle Age unit. Gunpowder in Castle Age is just really, really good. And incidentally, Jurchens have access to their own gunpowder in Castle Age in actually 2 forms. One being the Grenadier, their unique unit, which is very, very dangerous. It's essentially a hand cannoneer in the Castle Age. Arguably better in some instances, I would say. It certainly is better in Imperial Age, at least through my testing and my experience. I think it's stronger. But the other gunpowder unit they have is Fire Lancers. And Fire Lancers definitely could be a decent unit in this matchup, especially if purple decided to commit any more with cavalry. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be what he's doing, but blue doesn't know that. If we get up to Castle Age, I don't think going Fire Lancer would be a bad idea at all. Getting on gold is going to be super ideal for purple hair, because he does want to get to Castle Age as soon as possible. I don't think he's going to build a market. It looks like he's just going to make his eco really nice in order to accomplish that Castle Age. Meanwhile, blue is going to be headed up to Castle Age soon as well. How many farms we got? We got 9 versus 18. Wow, we have a lot more farming happening over at purple's corner. So I think purple is probably going to be clicking up to castle first. If blue had a market down, there's a decent chance he could maybe get to castle first. But I don't think he's going to get that 200 food quick enough, and he's got a little more gold than he needs in order to click up to castle. Not that that's a bad thing. Having extra gold is certainly good. Especially if you want, you could grab... Obviously, you want the food for this, so you're not going to do it, but you could grab bloodlines to help out your scouts. If you had more scouts, that would even be more ideal. Market is getting built, so that'll be nice, but at any second here, purple's gonna be clicking that castle age. The sooner the better. He's probably paying attention to these spearmen and scout cav. Come on, we're floating a ton of food and a ton of TC idle time. Get that castle age clicked up. These scouts are not that dangerous. There we go. Okay, he's headed up to castle. It could have been like 20 seconds sooner, but no complaints. Very decent time from him. Meanwhile, blue side, he should be able to click up to castle age very next here as well. We'll give him just a minute. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so there's not going to be a major advantage for either of these players at this point. No one's lost any vills. It's just been military v military for the most part, and no one's really going for any kind of dangerous military or push of any kind. So we'll have to see what castle age brings. I kind of leaning towards the Jurchen player at the moment, just because he has his blacksmith and marketplace, and he's building a second stable. So undoubtedly, in my mind, this means step lancers. And step lancers are really, really good, especially for cracking into bases. Now, purple's obviously not walled that much, so it won't matter too much. He's about to get his market down. But he's not mining stone, which I would have expected. Or is he? Oh, he is. Okay. He just started mining stone. I don't know that that's going to get him a castle fast enough. I'm pretty sure he'll have step lancers in his base before he can get a castle going. So certainly isn't going to be a castle drop on his opponent. It's going to be a defensive castle, if anything. And there's a really, really nice hill with which to put a castle down. But you're going to need some kind of military in order to accomplish that. He does have a few spears. How many was it? Just 2? Okay. Might not be a bad idea to get a couple more spears. And obviously you'd want to full wall your base in, but I don't think that he's doing this intentionally and not walling against something like Jurchens, any faction that is with step lancers. Palisade walls just melt in an instant, so I wouldn't blame any player for just saying, yeah, I'm not gonna build walls, because they'll just get chopped in 2 seconds. So that seems perfectly reasonable to me, if that was what's going through his head. More than likely he just isn't much of a waller, and that's also totally fine. Blue, however, is gonna be fully walled here, which is super duper nice. I like that position. Forward gate is good. He's got plenty on, not enough on food, but plenty on gold. That's not going to be enough to keep constant production of step lancers. And where are they? Getting husbandry is okay, I guess, but you need to have some units for that to really take effect. Why did we make these 2 stables? Why aren't we popping out triple TC? Why do we make 2 stables? What was the point? If you're gonna go a 3 TC boom, alright, well, purple gets his castle for absolutely free. There could have been step lancers here. There could have been like 4 or 6 step lancers. They could have completely denied this. But that's okay. Honestly, I don't like that. I don't like that castle from purple at all. It's on a hill, so I guess that's nice. It does defend one avenue from which blue can enter his base. However, it's not defending any kind of immediate resource. Yeah, I guess you could say a wood line, but he's putting a TC down there to defend that woods line. I really think the castle would have been better up here. You defend golds, you get a more central castle between you and your opponent. A slightly more central castle. But I would rather have this hill than that one. Like, I mean, the Jurchen player is probably not going to be taking this hill, so, but the Jurchen player very well could be trying to take this hill. Okay, 3 TC boom. That could pay off if purple is not aggressive at all. Maybe that's why people do. Okay, he's got some conquistadors. I've been watching some of these. I want to say lower, not really lower. This is barely lower than my elo. Only like a couple hundred elo or less below me, so it's really not that big of a difference. But I am seeing so many people that throw down 3 TCs instantly, which can be good. I've done it before. In fact, I had to eventually get out of the habit of doing it because I realized I was doing something wrong. But if you don't have like a feudal age military, I highly recommend not going 3 TCs. I mean, maybe 1 if you want, but get your military out. Get some military out, get some control of the map, start raiding your opponent, figure out what they're doing. And if they're only focused on defending, then sweet, throw down 3 TCs, you can abandon your military production and just outboom them. But I mean, if you're just going in blind and you decide, oh, I've hit castle age, now I need to throw down 3 town centers, your opponent could be at your base with like a castle, a forward siege workshop, a bunch of knights. Like, there could be so many things that would cause very big issues. Town centers are nice, but they can only defend this one radius. And even when they're defending that one radius, they're not working because the vills will be going into the town center. The vills will be garrisoned. So I don't know that I like people doing the 3 town centers. I think sitting on 1 town center is honestly potentially better, just because you could be spamming so much military and just running around your opponent's base. So, I don't know, random tangent here. Something I do like is blue is grabbing a bunch of relics. That's super duper nice. But we have conks here, and I don't think blue has a answer ready for it. So, step lancers probably won't do very good into conks. Light cav probably aren't too bad, but you really want skirmishers more than anything to counter these. And they're gonna get real annoying real fast. There's a hole there. Oh, they're gonna be very annoying very quickly. Monks are not bad, actually. I didn't think about monks. Monks are a great counter. I am one blind guy. This is just because I never go monks, okay? That's my excuse. I don't go monks myself. I get like 1 monk maybe, and then I'll be focused on grabbing the relics of that monk. But I am typically full military. I go for the military counters. So I'm really impressed with blue, actually. Take it all back. This guy knows what he's doing. He had the monks ready for that, and he completely countered that play. Well played. The more you know. That's a learning moment for me. Double monastery coming in clutch. I like it. I like it. Maybe I need to pick that up sometime. University is a little interesting, but I imagine he's trying to go imp because he's floating a ton of res, and he obviously doesn't have the stone for a castle, so he needs to get 2 castle age buildings down. University is one of those. Oh, and monastery is the other. So yep, he'll be able to click imp very, very soon, which could be a very big problem for our Spanish player. The Spanish player lost his push with those conks. And since he's lost that push, he's not going to be getting a lot of damage in, and he is not having the same, like, amount of res floated as our Jurchen player, so he's not going to be getting to imp anytime soon. That being said, I don't see an imp click yet. Might be a good idea to just buy that last little bit of food and click imp. The longer you take to get to that imp, the less of an advantage it'll be. Okay, he's clicked it. Very nice. In 3 minutes, there's going to be a very big problem for purple, and I don't think purple or pink. Should I have been calling this person pink the whole time? I don't know. That looks purple to me. That looks more purple to me. You guys let me know if you think that's pink or purple. Our purple player is definitely going to be having a bit of trouble once the Jurchen player hits Imperial Age. So I'm not sure what the Jurchen player will be going for. He's got some step lancers. He's not making any other military production buildings, so I'm thinking we will be staying on cavalry. And Jurchens actually have very few options in cavalry, at least from stables. You've got your light cav that most everyone has, and then step lancers. So at least step lancer could be very, very good. Still, I'm not sure how good it would be against conquistadors. I'm sure it's not that bad though. So that'll be something. Light cav as well into potentially hussars, also very, very good. Faster attack is going to be super duper nice. He is massing some numbers for those step lancers, so I think that will probably be the play, is some elite step lancer. It'd be cool if he threw down a castle, especially again up on this hill, and pumped out some iron pagodas. I think iron pagodas might be fairly they have high pierce armor, but pierce armor doesn't matter too much against conquistadors, if we're being completely honest. So I really would like to see an archery range too, probably. Archery ranges behind this with skirmishers, elite skirmishers, or heck, I'd take grenadiers. Grenadiers if you want to be fancy. I don't know that grenadiers is better though, because you're already building a gold unit and you really want a hard counter towards these conquistadors. So that's definitely going to be archers. I really wish that we'd get some archers. Man, these castle placements, what are these? What? All right. People, please put your castles at the front. At the front. Blue's getting this hill. This super ideal, the nicest hill on the map. It's the center of the map. It's next to gold, woodline. It's amazing. And he is building his first castle when purple has built 3. You want to put your castles in the front of the map, okay, in the middle of the map, between you and your opponent, and you also want them on hills and around resources. Like, sometimes you got to put up an emergency defensive castle, and I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a bad castle if you're in the super late game trying to defend from raiding. A bunch of hussar raids, like all that can make sense, but at this stage in the game, I really don't like purple's castles. maybe he's just looking for conquistador production. He's obviously making a ton of those. I think that will be something that Blue's gonna have to answer. I really need to see some archery ranges come up, because conquistadors, that mass of conquistadors is going to wreck Steppe Lancer army, I think, quite convincingly. I haven't actually had that fight before, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly confident that the conquistadors win that. So luckily though, still no Imperial Age for purple, so blue might not have the army composition to counter all this, but he does have an age advantage. Elite Steppe Lancer is also a super strong unit, especially with how fast they attack. They're probably gonna be able to break in here pretty quickly, but all the conks show up and a lot of stuff is gonna die. Don't back up, that's 5 monks! You could kill those 5 monks! Alright, you know what, he did stop the push, it's fine. He stopped the push, he doesn't need to fight under his opponent's castle. Which I think fletching, by the way, would be really good. Okay, fletching for purple. Blue should probably grab fletching just to increase the range of this castle. Get your archer upgrades, even if you're not playing an archer civ. The attack upgrades, I guess, specifically. Man, I really want to see some ranges. Ooh, I like the outposting. Blue just needs some ranges. He's got really good economy. No, he doesn't actually. 87 to 95. He doesn't have that great of economy. Oh no. I don't know. At this rate, I think the Spanish player could potentially win this. He's gonna be going up potentially to Imperial here pretty soon. He just needs a few more on gold and to sell some things. But these conks can delete that treb very, very quickly, which I would like to see them do. All right, this is gonna be a big engagement. How does this go? Back up and kite. Yep, lots of Steppe Lancers are gonna be dying. Not ideal for purple. He needs to get some vills over here repairing. I think he just saw that. He's heading over. He can click imp. He should be clicking imp. And these conquistadors could totally snipe some trebs, but obviously they're a little wary of the Steppe Lancer army in front of them. It's funny, the 2 starting game scouts, they're probably still on auto scout or something. Yep, it looks like that's exactly what's happening there on auto scout. That is pretty funny. Alright, conquistadors are in. They're killing some of the monks. I don't think this is the engagement you want. Okay, run. Awesome, very well played from the Spanish player. He does lose his castle, but he sniped all of those monks, and now he just has to deal with Steppe Lancers, which I do think these conquistadors can beat, even though they're a Castle Age unit versus an Imperial Age unit. Which, by the way, why haven't we clicked Imperial Age, floating 3,000 gold? We're making this game way harder for ourselves than it needs to be. Man, look at the damage those trebs do from that hill bonus. And it is gone. That was like 5 treb shots. Jeezums. Okay, we're not getting the best of engagements here with the conquistadors. This army was fairly scary, but we haven't clicked imp. Do we have the upgrades for him? They're cavalry armor, no? No, they're archer armor. Okay. So we've got some of their upgrades. I think they will long-term be able to weather this storm. But purple's really panicking here. I think purple's in a bit of a tough situation. He needs to click imp. Imperial Age could solve all these problems. He could get chemistry, he could get bombard cannons, he can get elite conquistador. His army counts could be a lot stronger. I do think he should probably be building some barracks and getting some pikes out, since it does appear that our Jurchen player is very, very much all in on the cavalry. As we can see, he's building a bunch of forward stables as well. So pike upgrade, halberd, but this isn't gonna happen if we don't get to Imperial Age. I mean, I would believe in the Spanish player, but imp could have been finished by now, and he hasn't even clicked it yet. I feel like it could just be game. He might be dying in the Castle Age, which is a bit of a bummer. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Jurchens are getting the win. I like a Jurchens. It does feel like this is a bit of a free win though. Look how much res is being floated. Like, we're not even producing okay, we're producing 1. But like, we could be spamming conquistadors and researching imp. He's just, I'm not sure. He's falling apart a little bit here. Maybe he's not used to this stage of the game. Maybe it's he's gets most of his wins probably in the early Castle Age when he throws down a castle and gets a bunch of conks into his opponent's eco. That would surprise me if that's the case, how the game gets played out for him. I mean, I was surprised to see the monks. Even at my elo, that would be fairly surprised. Well, not that my elo is much higher. I'm not trying to brag. But I would be surprised to see those monks. So that probably really stopped any kind of aggression or push that Purple is used to getting against his opponents. And I think that may have been the reason that this game just went the way it did. He finally clicks Imperial Age, but it's going to be too late. His base is wide open. There's full cavalry, hussar, and step lancer, fully upgraded production streaming into his base. And I don't think there's a way for him to recover from this. He's got some builds back here, build some barrackses and pump out some pikes. That could definitely help. But he's very low in the eco numbers. He's almost half the eco count as the blue player. The score is looking worse and worse. I think the GG could be called at any moment here, probably before Imperial Age. So maybe he wants to wait until he gets to Imperial Age. Which TC is the Imp TC? That's this one over here. These trebs are gonna move forward. There's a chance it goes down before it can even research Imperial Age. Oh, GG well played is called. GG well played indeed. Very nicely done from our Jurchen player. The only advice I would give him is pump military earlier. Probably don't go for those 3 TCs right away. I think you could be ending that game even sooner. Or, you know, you could, if you really want to do the 3 town centers, then there's probably no need to get that second stable down. So minor things there. Very well played to him. And Purple, I think you just gotta maybe get a little more comfortable with that late game and throwing in a few more units instead of just conquistadors into your comp. So that was fun watch. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as well, and I will talk to you later.